Busking is a creative outlet and an art form. People live to perform. Busking allows for that to happen.
It's not a career where you're ever going to get rich. You do it because you're making people happy.
It's just so beautiful, especially for the whole community to witness.
They have this extra added atmosphere that just makes the place feel a lot more alive.
I feel they just bring enjoyment. Like everyone here is crowding around, they're all enjoying it. People are gonna start dancing.
It's such a joy for a performer or a busker when you see an audience dancing.
Everything was really blurry before, but ever since I started busking, now everything is clear and possible.
Street performing is psychology. It is an understanding of how to make people like you and making a crowd like you when you're literally a stranger that they didn't plan to go and see. Learning and understanding that is a big part of being a street performer. My name is Patrick and I'm a full-time street performer. I spent about 5 years representing Australia as an ice dancer. When I retired from that, I'd gone from training pretty much all day, 6 days a week, to having nothing to do all of a sudden. And my hobby was circus. I ended up just training all day, just doing a different sort of training. I was doing circus instead. At some point, I decided to make it a job and take it from training to performing.
Rule number 1, if you see something you like, you clap. Audience, are you ready? Say yeah!
My name is Johan. I'm a busker. I'm also a classroom teacher. I've been playing music for 15 years now. I got into busking 3 years ago. Busking can definitely be seen as a way to really hone and sharpen your art.
My name is Widya. I'm a singer, a busker, and also a barista. Growing up in a very small village, we don't really have entertainment. Like watching TV is a problem for us. My mom loved to bring me to the back of the house and then just start singing songs, and then she started teaching me. And then my neighbor knows that I can sing, and then they were like, hey, there's a competition. And then they brought me to the competition, and I won first place. I never thought of doing busking. The reason is, from the country that I'm from, Indonesia, busking isn't really a good term. Like busker and beggar, it's like the same thing. If I told my parents that I am busking, which is in the term like pengamen, they're gonna hate me. So I wrote our days on our kitchen table.
I never considered busking for a very long time when I was working as a gigging musician, a music teacher, and a school band conductor. Then in 2013, I had a pretty bad accident with my right hand, which restricted me from holding the drumstick. It was a condition called focal dystonia. So that really impeded the way I played. And then in 2016, it happened to my left hand too. And that's when I felt that I had to put the sticks down. When I discovered that I couldn't play anymore, I was absolutely devastated because I felt like I just lost purpose. There was something that was lacking, which was the performance aspect. A good friend of mine, William Nicol, he brought a harmonica back to his place. He showed me how it worked, but it was harder than I expected. When COVID actually hit, I had all this time on my hands. Maybe this could be a good time to actually practice. The more I did it, the more confidence I had to go out there and go, I can do this. I can take this to the streets. I did my first busking session with my harmonica and a kind of foot percussion setup. It wasn't that good at the time. I wasn't a good harmonica player. It was nerve-wracking, but then when I look back, I'm actually really glad I did that. compared to practicing in your bedroom and practicing it out there when you have to deal with the nerves and people watching you. By the end of it, if it's a good busking session, you can't put a price on how great it feels. As a performer that hasn't been performed because of my injuries, now getting into busking, I can see purpose again in my life. There were times where I would even pinch myself, even today, and go, I can't believe I'm able to do this again.
Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day, sir.
I personally do busking for mental health reasons. I find it helps me, and I like to believe that by gathering groups of people and making them laugh and smile, I think that's something that does make people happier.
You take the flyer, hold it up so don't play yourself. You take the flyer, I take the wife. Kidding you.
A couple of years ago, I lost a very good friend to depression, and I was struggling a lot with my depression at the time. At some point, I stopped and watched a street magician, and he made me laugh, and he made me smile, and that really helped me to pull me out of a really bad place. At a time when I felt quite alone, for someone to recognize me and see me, and that made a big difference to me. And I decided I want to keep doing this because I hope that I can do that for other people. And I have had lots of people over the years come up to me and tell me that I've made quite a big difference. I've had several people say like, oh, I hadn't smiled since my dad passed away, and your show made me smile for the first time.
I kind of have these groups of friends. We actually went to karaoke. One of them were like, Dia, you should sing. We are all gonna sing, so you should sing too. So I put my name down, I sing, and I love the reaction of everyone when they see me performing. I feel like they're giving me this validation, like, hey, you should sing. And yeah, that's gave me a lot of confidence that I didn't have before. I kind of think about doing music again. I saw a busker on the street. His name is Charlie, go by the name Undecided Music. I was very inspired by the way that he busked. And that's when I realized when you're busking, it's up to you to do whatever type and styles of songs that you wanted to. I started talking to him, we end up doing collaboration, and then he told me like, you know what, you should really do busking.
And it's not your fault, I give you what you need, baby, and just like you.
I've always had this doubt about myself, like whether or not I could make it as a singer. And when I first started busking, there are actually people that tell me you have the certain characteristic that people don't really have. You sing from your heart, that's what they say. It's a very good compliment to me, like I sing from the heart, and then they can feel it, because that's actually the main point of me wanting to do music.
All I need is in love, it's clear to see. But darling, stay.
If you're a first-time busker, you could feel extremely nervous. There'd be a lot of thoughts in your head. You could go, are people actually listening to me? Am I making too much noise? Am I disturbing anyone right now? And these are the thoughts that still come into my head when I'm busking.
You do get nervous. I still get nervous. I'm 5 years in and I still get nervous. At that first point when you're like, well, people have been walking around and there's not been a guy with a microphone talking, and now there's a guy with a microphone talking, and you know, I've changed things and now I'm the center of attention. People are gonna start looking at me. Like, you do get nervous.
Right, now stop, nobody move!
As much as I'm excited to do it, but I'm always very nervous and anxious about it. And it's just all in your minds, but it somehow is powerful enough, always makes me want to throw up first. Even though like right now, every time that I'm setting up my stuff before busking, I'm still like really nervous. I try not to talk to anyone. Starting the first song is always hard because you always feel like your throat hasn't opened up yet.
When I was young.
But whenever you already start singing that song, everything just changed. it's just like all of the burdens in your body, they just all flew away. And then if you see like a lot of faces stopping by, seeing you sing, and then they're like smiling to you, and that just give you a lot of extra support.
So tell me when you're gonna let me.
Every time I have these thoughts, it always gets challenged by someone coming up to me and going, "Man, you sound great." I've had even people come and kind of dance in front of me while I'm busking. Not only do I feel very assured that I am doing the right thing, it reinforces my passion, it reinforces my purpose, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Because of busking, it actually opened up a lot of opportunities for me to do my own music. To me, as an artist, you have the dreams that you want to chase. Busking will be the place to start. Because when you are like seeing a live shows, there is like a wow factor. Because people get to see you, the way that you express the feeling of the song that you sing is straight to their ear. So life is very different.
Oh, take me back to the night we met.
Street performing is a bit of a risky job. You are in the public eye and you are the center of attention. Once I had a man with a shovel run into my show and like try to swing it at me, and he ripped my unicycle out of the hands of my volunteers who were holding it and threw it across the pitch at me.
I have had someone who just walked straight up to my case. I thought he was putting money in, but what happened was he took money out and he walked away really fast. And at the time, I felt so cut. I just went, how could someone do this?
I have this bad experience actually from a fellow busker. On that day that I was gonna busk, I saw that spot, the popular spot, was empty. I think I waited for like a good 5 minutes before I set up. And then I started singing for like a good 5 to 6 songs. And then suddenly there was a busker who come. And I was really like curious, like, oh, why is he setting up? I just started like 15, 20 minutes. Because in pit street mode, the rules is you only get to perform for 1 hour. And then when he finished setting up, he approached me and told me, like, hey, I think it's time to pick up. It's almost 2. It's my time to perform now. And I told him, but I literally just started. Like, I have only 30 minutes left. He came up with a bunch of rules. He won't listen to anyone's explaining until the point that I really gave up.
And so this is not
It's
mine.
alright, it's yours, I don't want to.
Yeah, I know, it is mine.
It's
So
yours, yes.
At 3 p.m. you can pass.
I'm done.
One of the viewer in the TikTok live found out who he is. Apparently, he is infamous of doing things like that to buskers. So it's really, really a shame. It's hard enough to get the support from the audience and people out there. At least you got the support for fellow busker, but instead, no, this busker is a different story.
I'm going to do a show. It's a comedy circus stunt show. Now what I'm going to do is from the foot to the head.
My most memorable experience with that was I used to have a little kid volunteer in my show. I'd get them out of the audience, I'd do a trick with them with a hat, and then they get big applause from everyone. And one time I had this lovely little girl as my volunteer, and the whole family, they all had their phones out and they had tears in their eyes. And after the show, they came up to me and they said, we don't know if you know this, but our daughter is disabled and this is the first time we've ever seen her act like just a regular kid. And a few months later, they emailed me to tell me that they'd put her into acting at school, and that whenever she's on stage, she's like this very normal kid and she's just like everyone else. And it's the first time that they've ever seen her like that, and it's completely changed her life.
Hup! Yes.
The first time that I was doing a collab with another violin busker, and then, I don't know, on that day somehow I had like a big crowd. Oh my God, it was such a good day. So many people like recording, dancing around, very happy. This is really what busking is about. Like when you see them happy, you become really happy too.
Thank you so much, guys.
You could have the absolute worst day, and all of a sudden you see a live performance and it just changes you, because music can do that. And this is why we have all of that. You know, it helps us to alleviate the anxiety and stress of work life.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the lights.
Advice I have for buskers: don't busk where I want to busk. No. A lot of buskers struggle with burnout because it is a hard lifestyle. Take breaks if you need to, and recover and think about what you're doing and think about why you're doing it. And be careful of loneliness. It's ironic that you feel lonely while surrounded by hundreds of people clapping and cheering for you, but it's true. You are the one person who is not part of that crowd. Just take time to foster relationships and friendships. Make sure you're part of a community, and make sure you're doing something that's at least a little bit not related to performing. Have something else in your life.
I think it's great when buskers perform in public spaces around Sydney because it allows them to spread their music, and also it just creates an environment of music around Sydney.
The culture of a city is only built by the people that's in it, so everyone showing their music is what creates the culture. So it's important that everyone shows what they can do.
They're out there having a go, just putting themselves out there. It makes me want to try and have a go as well. It's like inspiring and stuff. Anyone can do it if they put their heart out to it.
What I hope for within the busking community is that we encourage more people to do it.
Please do it. Because if you have dreams, I believe you're gonna start somewhere.
If you don't get out there and try it, you will never succeed. So the greatest failure is a failure to try.
Busking is one of the best things to ever start this journey, because there's nothing better than strangers and people who you don't know out there seeing you doing what you do, and be the judge and the support that you need for your growth.
There will be times, there will be moments where you will question why you're doing what you're doing, but know that one bad busking session doesn't make you a bad busker. Keep going, speak to other buskers, keep learning. It is a learning experience as a busker.
Thank you so much, my little friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So my name is Widya. I'm a busker, singer, and I also do my own music as well. So.
My name is Patrick, and the reason I do this show, because I believe that if you make people happy, you can make their lives better. And I hope that if I can make enough people happy, maybe one day I'll even make the world.